Well, hello there. Welcome to the new year and welcome to the Nth Degree with Newby and Neeper. Hey, Donna, this is going to
Hi,
be
Bralynn.
awesome.
I love how you pause there with Newbie and Neeper. Yeah. Any other ends we got here?
I know, right? New year.
New Year, Neeper and Newbie, and any other new thing you want to throw in there.
Right, right. Because we
Welcome,
got to
everybody.
take it to the nth degree.
That's right.
Yeah, so this has been on our hearts for a long time, and Donna and I have both done some work. Donna has probably done more work than me, but experienced
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
some things. Well, it varies. You
Different.
know,
We've done
yeah,
different work.
we've done
Mhm.
different work. Exactly.
Yeah, we can talk
So,
about that.
yeah, we can talk about that. But the bigger picture is altars that we sacrifice on, and then narrowing it down that it might be a series that we do, Donna. I don't know, because we have this the altar of fear, the altar of doubt, the things that we sacrifice our sleep, our peace about, right? But today we really want to focus on the altar of sugar and other toxins that
Mhm.
we knowingly and unknowingly, wittingly and unwittingly put into our body and expect healing.
Now,
Because
before you turn us off, because we're talking about a subject that makes everybody uncomfortable. Remember, this is the nth degree, and we're going to say some wild and crazy stuff here. So we encourage you to stay and consider. This is your stay, hear us out, consider this, see where it goes in your life.
right.
Mhm.
And what we're talking about, like I said, Donna and I have been working on this. So it requires work. And some people just are not willing to do the work. But here's the thing. Here's the truth of the matter. It's work to be sick. It's work to be exhausted. It's work to keep catching colds over and over again. And it's work to have infections. And it's work to go to the ER or the emergent care or the doctor. It's work to have medications that are on that have side effects. That's all work as well. And if you can eliminate that, I don't know about you, Donna, but I've eliminated every single one of my prescription drugs and cut in half the ibuprofen or something like that
Mhm.
that that I use. So it's I'm feeling a lot better since I let go of these things. I mean, it's been a long time since I was just regularly consuming sugar. And usually what I would do, I would allow myself a binge every once in a while and just do sugar. I'm like, and then I realized, oh, this is what it feels like when you wake up and your joints are stiff and you can't get to sleep and you're sluggish and your muscles hurt. And I'm like,
And
oh
your
yeah,
brain
this is
fog
why.
is
Brain
so,
fog. Yeah, I
and your
can't
depression
concentrate.
and
Oh,
your
yes.
anxiety and your knees hurt and you can't walk to the mailbox even. I mean,
Malaise,
it,
yeah. And I'm
the,
like, oh,
mal-
this is why I don't do sugar.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think if the audience cares to go back and look at other Nth Degree episodes, we have touched on this for a long time.
Mhm.
Your body is the temple of the Lord. He delights in your body. He made it wonderfully and creatively, miraculously, and so He wants you to Father God, Yeshua Hamashiach. They want you, Holy Spirit, want you to love your body, love yourself as your neighbor. You can't love your neighbor unless you love yourself first.
Right.
And loving yourself may or may not be the bent that you're wired with at first because of perhaps childhood trauma or just trauma in the adult life, right? Or you feel harried and too busy and out of whack with God. Those are all legitimate ways that our emotions do feel. They may not be the legitimate truth. To get to the legitimate truth, you may have to do something new, something different. I'm even going to say you may have to do something radical.
Yeah.
This is the nth degree, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Yeah.
So,
So I was speaking of doing something radical
Hmm.
last year between Christmas and New Year's. I took and I did a 5 day fast, and I did all 5 days with no food, and the last 2 days with no water, even no food or water, because it was a jump start and it really kicks parasites in the butt because they won't live in an environment with no when no food is coming in, and certainly not with no water, right?
Right.
So I was going to do a 90-day parasite cleanse, which I did, but I wanted that kickstart. And so this year I was like, do I want to do the whole no water thing? Because that was really hard. I mean, you couldn't do anything else. I laid on the couch. I'm like doing my puzzle on my book and
Mhm.
listening to a podcast. That's about all I could do. So that's why the perfect week in between Christmas and New Year's. But this year, I did 4 days, zero food. And then now I'm doing 21 days of one meal a day. So, and I haven't used sugar or bread for a long time. And if I do, like if I go out to eat or if I have rice or pasta or something like that, I ever do it 2 days in a row. So I have this, I gamified the system for myself because
Yeah.
that helps me. So anyway, I
You
feel a
have to
lot
do it, but
better.
look what you're doing, Bralynn, is you're looking at how these things affect your body. You're listening to your body and you're
Yeah.
making personalized, very internalized adjustments. Only, and here's what you're not doing. You're not making hard and fast emotional rules for the next 5 days. I'm not going to do this or that. You're kind of easing yourself into, I'm tracking what my body's doing here. I have some goals and I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to dabble in this and see if this works.
Yeah.
But you're not getting under a legalistic thing.
Right. I'm used to doing fasts. I think we've talked about this. I'm a pretty good faster. Like
You
for
are.
between Passover and Pentecost, I did a 40-hour fast every Monday.
Mhm.
And just every once in a while, if I'm feeling sluggish, if I'm feeling malaise, or if I just feel like I'll just fast and I just won't eat any food for three
Yeah.
days or
And
whatever.
I love it because for you that you've followed your body, your physical body into this
Right.
understanding that gives you knowledge about you and wisdom about you. So you can be the
Right.
best to you. We all want to be our best self.
Yeah. And you did the
And
same thing with the
I
protein.
did. Uh-huh, I did. I have to tell you though, so this is January and um last March 2025 on March 1st, I just knew that I knew that I knew, and I believe in Holy Spirit, angels helping you have a knowledge you didn't know you had, and then you have it because it was given to you. I just knew that I was going to do a carnivore diet. And I thought to myself, how simple. This is just going to be so simple. And guess what? It was totally simple. Now, I come off of a ketogenic diet history where you track all your macros and you track all your carb amounts and you track your food and all this stuff. I was thrilled with the freedom that I had just to eat animal products and not worry about it. So for the first 3 months, I ate animal products with no dairy except for butter, had butter. And then after the 3 month mark, I added cheese and yogurt. So my life changed. Of course, anytime you change your diet in a radical way, for me, this was radical. And it was the easiest thing I ever did. It was like falling over. That was so easy. So you eat till you feel satiated, and then you don't eat plants. So all the cooking that I grew up with, I had to unlearn all, and you really walk through a moment of unlearning to relearn and realize all the things that you were taught, like 50% of that was maybe 80% of that was programming. My mom grew up in the South. Her mom grew up in the South. You can imagine the types of Southern eating that I was, since birth instilled upon. And so that changed. I had to unlearn all that. The freedom not to make sides with my meat product diet was a lot of freedom. And course, you're not going to eat sugar. You're not going to eat honey. You're not going to eat anything. I did permit myself a couple of drops of stevia in my hot tea in the evening, and I get organic stevia droplets. And I did do that. Um, but anyway, here's the cool thing. When you make changes like that, the great thing is if you're an adult and you are settled in your own mind, I'm going to give this a fair shot, then I think it's easier for the people around you because you become graceful toward them. If you don't want to eat this way, that's fine, but I'm only going to eat this way. And then you begin to see how uncomfortable other people get because you made this big radical change. But let me tell you, what'll keep you going is the fruit of your plan. So I called it an elimination plan, and I eliminated everything except animal products. And I basically ate eggs and meat and bacon. And it was wonderful. Brain fog went away and aches and pains in my body. And I started losing about a pound and a half a week. So it was a slow loss over all those months. And let me fast forward to now. Well, to right before Christmas. So Christmas comes and I'm the mom of a family that's coming to my home to celebrate Christmas. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? And so I decided that one of my favorite things to do, and it's traditional, it's emotional, right? So you recognize all this stuff about you. And I thought, and I said to myself, so I'm going to make Christmas cookies. I love to make gingerbread cookies and decorate them, and we eat them. Gingerbread is my all-time favorite flavor profile.
Yep.
I could eat that 24/7. I mean, I love gingerbread, cinnamon, ginger, and ground cloves. I love
Hmm.
it. So,
Me too.
so I thought I can do this. I can do this. So I make the first batch, and I have maybe two or three little cookies, little gingerbread men. And then I got the next day, I'm like, well, I need to make some regular Christmas cookies because my family likes that. Now, keep in mind, my family are all adults except for my grandkids, and they're young enough not to know this tradition yet. So, but oh no, here I go down my little tradition path, right? I make those cookies, and for the next 2 days, I was eating those cookies and the gingerbread cookies. And I'm like, the whole time I'm doing it, I'm like, this is not on my plan. This is not how I work. This isn't me. And so I get to this moment where I'm like, I have an issue, God. I am sacrificing all of these gains at the altar of tradition. Help me.
Mm.
Help
So
me.
good.
Father, help me. I need help.
Yeah.
So I started praying over it and it got a lot easier. Okay. And then we traveled for several days, and I did actually better traveling than I had at home. But as soon as all my company left, I put everything in the freezer because, at my house, your cookies are sitting out where people can have them and all that stuff. The other thing I like at Christmas is peppermint. I love peppermint, peppermint tea, peppermint chocolate, peppermint, everything. And so that was another thing. But when I think my experience was when you're doing this as a child of God in Jesus Christ and you're walking it through, he's okay with you to let you see a thing. Isn't that how we learn? When you see something and it comes up and you're like, look at that.
Yeah.
That gingerbread dough has a hold on me.
Right.
It has a control over me. It rules
Hmm.
me. It,
Hmm.
it it could even have a domination over me, right? Now,
Hmm.
in other seasons, it truly did. This one wasn't as bad, but still, I noticed it. So after I threw everything away or put it in the freezer, uh, I was like, okay, great. And then we traveled, and now we're back. But so I'm pursuing this, but I think, and this, then I'll let you talk. I think where I've gotten to is to realize, I know I've talked about, is to realize our relationship with food is linked to our emotions. It's
Yep.
linked to how our neural pathways have thought because it comes Christmas time and this is what you do, right? And it's been reinforced all this time. And yet to do a new thing you must involve your spirit man.
Yeah.
You must involve the Father who knows your every thought and knows the breath he gives you. And that's when I was like, this is way more spiritual than most people think.
Absolutely. I mean, that is so true. I pulled up some information just because some people might not know this. So this is from eatingwell.com. And here, I'm just going to read these key points about what sugar does to you. Eating too much sugar can harm your brain, heart, liver, gut, and skin. All added sugars affect the body similarly. How much and how often matters more than the type. All small swaps, especially limiting sugary drinks, can quickly improve blood sugar and health. Americans eat an average of 17 teaspoons of added sugar a day.
Yeah. Now you
Whoa.
have to remember what sugar actually does to you. It really resets all of all. Sugar, and they know this because the occult uses sugar to amp young
Absolutely.
children up off on their sugar, and all the SRA victims that have testified to this, that they were sugared up and then they were drugged because the body makes a frequency that is it's not good for you to live like that, but the
Right.
occult's powering up off of that. I mean, it's
It's
deeper than that, but
yeah, and I mean, look at the fairy tale with the witch and Hansel and Gretel. She led the kids to their doom or to,
mhm,
a sacrifice by
sacrifice.
sugar,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And I'm not, it's interesting because a lot of people, you cannot talk to many people about this stuff like that. But if people give you a chance, it goes that I've given myself permission to let it go as far as I can take it with people because
Yeah.
we tend to think that, oh well, it's just a thing, it's just I don't feel so great, it's just that, but I think it's more than that.
It's
The
so
nth
much
degree,
more.
it's so much more. So who stands to benefit for you, your flesh suit, your physical suit? Who stands to benefit from your physical suit not running at its optimum? Only the demons.
Yeah. Because you
Only
won't be
the demons.
fulfilling your destiny. You won't take initiative when the Lord says, I need you to go over to these people and pray for them, or I need you to, whatever the task is, you just feel like, I don't feel like it. That's what sugar does to you. And it's a mind control thing. It really is. I
Yeah.
can totally tell the difference in my mind, the ability to focus, the depression, like you said before, how little things will affect me more,
Mhm. Mhm.
how I can't take authority over things because I just
Mhm.
like, oh, I don't even know what to say right now.
Mhm.
You know?
Or you
It's
have that fogginess of not even malaise, just more of a not being a superior spiritual being that you really are.
Yeah, yeah. So it
Mhm.
really is an altar. And I know people don't think of it like this, but really, if you are sacrificing your brain clarity, your sleep, the health of your organs, the health of you in general, your skin, you're sacrificing these things.
Mhm.
That is done on a trading floor. You're making a trade. You're choosing to give those things up for the return. The small gift that you get is a little bit of a party in your mouth and a little sugar high. Like, wow, it's so not worth it when you think about the very little good you get out of it.
Right,
It's literally an addiction. It's
right. So,
oh
and the part of your body that is most affected with sugar in particular, besides your brain, which is affected, mood, brain, emotions, think of
yeah,
how it touches all parts of your being, your three-part being, but it'll make it affects your liver. So
your gut.
your liver and your liver will become insulin resistant. And when you have insulin resistance, which I did, before I started the ketogenic journey, I really had insulin resistance. Then I had the ketogenic journey and it helped me a little bit, but the carnivore journey really sealed the deal. But your liver will become insulin resistant and you're thinking, well, I'll just clean up what I'm doing and eat a little better. But meanwhile, you've got insulin resistance in your liver that until you deal with that and heal the liver, you probably aren't going to lose weight, even though you're not eating as many calories and sugar and stuff like that. You've got to heal this organ in you that is your cleansing organ. You've got to get it healed.
Yep.
And so I found that for a long time, I was losing weight, but it was more gradual until one day I woke up and thought, you know what? I think I've healed my liver. That's just a wild and crazy thought because nobody talks like that, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. And I mean, it's good to understand what's really going on in your body. And we like to say this, if you're going to heal, let's just say you've got a wound on your foot. In order to heal that, you've got to take the rock out of your shoe.
Hmm.
You have to do the work and stop, sit down, take your shoe off, take the
Hmm.
rock out before that wound can ever heal. And then
Hmm.
now you've got to heal it, right? So
Hmm.
we have to heal our body so that it can do what God designed it to do, which is heal ourselves. We shouldn't be getting sick all the time. That's not how God designed us. And if we do get sick, we should be able to come out of
Pop
it.
back. Yeah.
Exactly. But
So
with
true.
sugar and processed food, because processed food inherently has sugar in it, and they call it different things. There's actually the patent on an ingredient called natural flavors. That's the name of this ingredient, and it's all a bunch of chemicals and stuff. And
Yeah.
the patented name is called natural flavors, so they
And
can
it's in
put that
everything.
in the ingredients list. And so whenever you see something that says natural flavors, run away.
Yeah. And this is not even to broach. I mean, these are big topics, ladies and gentlemen, the very big topics. And it's worth you doing some research. I can point if you're looking for carnivore research, I can point you to Dr. Sean Baker. He has a book, he has a podcast, great explanation of the many different ways you can attempt a carnivore diet. But back to the sugar point, the sugar is in fast food because sugar is the most addictive substance. So they're calling it other things, they're labeling it and patenting it different things, but it's especially in the sauces that fast food put on the so-called food, which is just plastic and flavorings. Um,
Let's
and
not
they're
get into
calling that
microplastics.
that's right. They're calling that food. And
Yeah.
we've fallen for the programming. We've fallen for, the toad in the hot water and now it's boiling and we didn't even know it got hot,
Yeah.
because we were doing it at the altar of convenience. And the
I
altar
agree.
of convenience is going to take you to a rabbit hole you probably don't want to go to. It's trying to work against your humanity, your ability to have patience, your ability to do the hard thing, your ability to do the right thing, your ability to pull back from the world system and go, I'm not under you, I'm over you because I'm in Jesus. And there's lots of places to go and do some of this research, and I encourage you to do that. And like, get in touch with us if you need, and maybe we can put links out there. But there's so many
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
there's a
really is so
lot
many.
of good. I mean, I think of Dr. Josh Axe. Do you know
Uh-huh.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of good stuff, and they just came out with another book. He and his business partner, or the partner for the book, or the co-authored this new book. I lost it at the top of my head. If I think of it, I'll
Uh-huh.
come back. But
You
I
can look up the Food Babe. The Food Babe is her name is Vanny Hari, I think. And she's on X. The Food Babe. Just go look up the Food Babe. She's got a book that's great, talks about all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know they were giving away one of the chapters of this book, so I downloaded it, but I can't um let me see if I can put my finger on it. But in the meantime, let me just say that there's a lot of fraud out there too, and there's a lot of misinformation and just trash stuff, people trying to make money. Unfortunately, that's the
In,
truth.
in every in every pocket of society, there's that. So in
Exactly.
this, there is too. So you want to go to your sources. You want to go to people that have actually written books. They've taken the time to do that. Paul Saladino is one. And there are a lot of people out there that have been doing this a long time. I want to I want to get back to the nth degree statement though.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is where it goes for me. I think people hopefully turn into this because we want to present to you the nth degree of where this is going. We don't have any proof. Can't prove this stuff, but I was telling my husband last night in Berlin, we know that there's a seed war in the earth realm between those that are in Jesus and born again as sons of God, and those that are the Nephilim spirits of fallen angels who mated with humans and who were wiped out in the flood, and then they were after the flood. And they are real beings. They are continuing all these thousands of years, they're spirits. They're looking for bodies to live in. We a lot of times we call that demons. Okay. But here's so what happened to me. So I'm reading Sean Baker's book called Carnivore Diet. And in the back there, he's got some people where he talks about their journeys. Their picture is there, and they're writing their own experience with carnivore diet. Okay, it could be ketogenic diet. It could, but it's just meal plans they don't have sugar. Okay, and he anyway. So this one lady says that 20 years ago she and her husband decided to do this carnivore thing. Now, 20 years ago was before we even called it a carnivore diet. We called it an elimination plan or something like that, which, you can call whatever you want to call this type of eating. But she writes in there, she bullet points like about 7 major areas that it took her an entire year. And this was 20 years ago. And the more things that she listed that she got over, I know because of my walk with Jesus and where he's taken me and people that I follow and help, she had a demon. And all of a sudden it was like right there in my face. And I'm like, oh, they're killing us by killing our food source because they want us dumbed down. And if we're dumbed down, we don't take authority and rule over them. If our brain fog is such that we can't do that, like you were saying, and they want to inhabit our physical body because it's supposed to be the physical place on earth where the Spirit of God dwells. Well, I'm a spirit filled Christian. And so the Spirit of God dwells in me. He has invitation from me to come and do what his will is in the earth realm. I'm the connector point. I'm the portal. I'm the door. Jesus is my door to the other side. Jesus is my door that I go to commune with the Holy Spirit, with Father, and to receive his voice. So when I began to realize, oh my gosh, we are real estate. Your body is real estate. And your real estate, this is what they're trying to compromise. They're trying to compromise this on purpose. Why? Because of Revelation. What's happening in the book called Revelation in the Bible. Where we're going with this is a great war, and we're already in the ascent to that war in the time realm. And so we have to get clear with ourselves. What really is this? Why are children singled out? They're given sugar and sugary things. Why is it when you go to a hospital, i.e., a place that you're supposed to get healed, the food is the worst in the hospital than anywhere else in your town? It's because we have bought in by not analyzing, opening our eyes, and getting freshly, like, it's like we need to be awakened again, right? Freshly. We went through this with the whole COVID stuff, but this is going on. If it doesn't make logical sense, it doesn't make sense. So you get to question it. To have a hospital serve a diabetic jello and foods that have sugar in them and natural flavorings when you're in the hospital trying to get healed of whatever cancer. You know what I'm saying? They're uh, of all places, right? They ought to be the most strict, the most stringent, the most clean food, the most unprocessed food. And they serve some of the most processed food in your town.
Well, yes. And I mean, and there's more.
And there's
Oh,
more.
wait, there's more. Because a doctor will prescribe a pill over telling you to get off sugar every day of the week. Why
Yeah.
is that? It's about the money. He doesn't get paid if he just says stop eating sugar. He gets paid, or she
Right.
gets paid if they prescribe the drug that the drug rep came in and are giving him a kickback on.
Yeah. And took them to dinner and
And,
fed their staff
exactly.
and gave their kids, toys at Christmas or whatever. You have to
Yeah.
remember that your doctors out there are under their own mind control. They're under an influence
Mhm.
that they bought into. They made a
Mhm.
contractual agreement with. And
Mhm.
so, of course, it's coming out of their mouth and out of their prescription pad to you
Mhm.
because they're the ones under the mind control.
Right. So, I mean, the bottom line is if there's anything going on in with brain fog, in your body, any the aches and pains, the not ability, the first thing, obviously pray, but stop the sugar. Just stop it. It- yes, it might be a little difficult at first, but it's so worth it. It's
Well,
such a
I
sacrifice.
always say if you're going to stop sugar, you need to fill it with something else because you are going to have a transition time.
Yeah.
You're going to have a transition time. So as you dwindle sugar, you must transition to increasing something else. Well, my way of thinking, having you've heard my story, is you fill that with quality meat, quality eggs, and things that really satisfy you. They're not satisfying the sweet.
I don't know.
Listen,
Nowadays, it's satisfying to me, and it gets
oh, that's what I'm
sweet.
saying.
It's like it. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
long time since when
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
if
about
you
meat
go
now, I
off of
think
it,
sweet. Yeah.
you can really dwindle that because it's just the receptors are just on the tongue.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
your liver is not saying, I need some sugar because I miss it. I want it, that taste. It's your receptors right here. Which leads me back to guess what you can pray over? Your tongue. You can pray over
Mhm.
the receptor sites on your tongue.
Yeah.
Now, I would not pray, God, take them away. I would pray, Lord, show me how to rule over them.
Bring them into alignment.
Right.
Yeah, because
So
they're out of alignment right now.
they are part of my carnal nature, right? Which is loved by God.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we're told to steward that carnal nature and not let it rule over us. So, okay, that's a prayer point. Another prayer that I found in my journey is a prayer, and I don't have time to go into this, but I just want to say to you the light of the world came to us. We celebrate it in Christmas carols. The light of the world came. That means a frequency vibration of sound waves came into the earth realm that wasn't here before he came. And when Jesus rose and ascended back to the Father, he sent Holy Spirit so that that sound wave of light is still in the earth realm. Appropriate that to you, dear Christian friend. Appropriate the light in your being.
We are supposed to be the salt and light.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah. And
exactly.
light comes, the lamp, the eye is the lamp of the Lord. And if your eye is light, It's good. Appropriate that light in, and I'm really serious. I do this with my body organs.
Mm-hmm.
Liver, receive the light of the Lord. Heart, receive the light of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Sinus passages, receive the light of the Lord. Lord, thank
Absolutely.
you. I receive in my eye the light of your glory. The light of God is his glory. It's his shining. It's his brilliance. And our world needs us to shine it from the inside out because it doesn't have it. The earth literally doesn't have it lest we bring it and release it.
So good. So good. Wow, we could continue.
Mhm.
I almost do feel like doing kind of an altar series and talking about other things that we put on the altar. Maybe we won't do it in order, but maybe we can just, put it
Describe
on the
what,
list to do and, you
Bralynn,
know,
describe what you would do when you say you recognize I need to put something on the altar. What, say it in other words, say it in different words.
well, what we're sacrificing on the altar of sugar is our sleep, our well-being, our total freedom and movement in our joints. Those things we're sacrificing. Even the health as far as not getting sick. We're sacrificing optimal health on the altar of that sugar.
Uh-huh.
Having a little party in our mouth, like you said, with the receptors, and a little sugar high in our body.
Mhm.
That's what the demonic gives us for the sacrifice of the sleep and the health of all of our organs, for the deterioration of our healthy glow of our skin, for the sagginess, for the
Mhm.
aging our body and our
Mhm.
organs
The
faster.
depression.
It
Yeah.
all of it. Those are what we're sacrificing the opposite
Mhm.
of those, obviously, the
Mhm.
optimal health on that altar. And
I actually thought you were going to go someplace else with that. So let me bring this part.
yeah, you do the opposite.
So at the altar, I think we don't think in terms of altars, altar as a place of worship.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like Bralynn was saying, it's also a place of trade. It's a
Mm-hmm.
trading floor that has trading routes that come in and out.
Right.
But it is also the place of agreement. It's the place of covenant.
Right.
It's the place of, if you go back and look in the Bible where the altars were built, it's a memorial place because something significant was agreed upon. Well, you can't have trade unless you agree. So if you go back and look at where in my bloodline, because we're all products of bloodlines, at least two, if you go back and look in your bloodline and ask the Lord to highlight for you what came into your bloodline that was an altar experience of those two bloodlines that you don't want anymore. For instance, like with this example, I love my mom. She's 93 years old. She's still in the earth and I love her. But we disagree almost like ends of the pendulum swing about diet. Okay. Well, I had to pray over the agreements that she made because I was carried in her womb. That was a God given womb to me. So I'm thankful for the womb. I'm happy. I bless the Lord that He gave me that womb experience. But out of that blood experience, I have a propensity to like fried food, to like sugary things, to like da da da. You can see where that's going. So that's an agreement that the blood made. So to take that to the altar and sacrifice it to the Lord is one way to get over it. And this goes back to my thought about how we're trying to do this with only two parts of our body, not all three parts, because you are spirit, soul, and body. Your body, you can not go buy sugar and sugary things and put them in your pantry, right? Your soul, you can try to get over the traditions that your soul was taught and that really it loves. That's your carnal nature. But then you got to involve your spiritual self, right? Your spiritual self can say, there were trades at an altar made because in an era of time that my bloodline thought this was okay. They thought it was, they may not have thought it was okay, but they liked it. In other words, they didn't put it on an altar and sacrifice it to the Lord. They didn't surrender it. So an altar is a surrendering place as well.
Yep.
And so so for me to say to the Lord, and to be honest, Berlin, I did this with wine because I like a glass of wine, but wine is not good for my liver. And I was in the process of getting my liver healed. So, but I was on my carnivore diet. This is early in the carnivore journey for me, but every Friday night I was used to having a wine and I would just hunger after it. I would just not all emotionally, right? Carnally. And so I took it to the Lord and I said, Lord, this wine, it may not be the worst thing for the worst thing, but I'm not talking about everybody else. I'm talking about me and you, God. It rules me. It wants to rule me. And I don't like that. So I'm going to surrender it to you. And I'm going to ask you to remove out of my soul, the hankering for it. And I don't think I was addicted to wine, but I could tell every Friday night, wow, I really wanted a glass of wine. And that was the only thing I missed. I didn't miss all the chips and the tortillas and all. I didn't really miss that. But when it came to the Friday night on wine, I went, God so met me there that the next Friday when my husband had his glass of wine, he's like, you want some? I'm like, no. I was like, oh my gosh. No, just came out of my mouth because God help me. He met me right there. And I put my faith here and he met me there and he just removed it. He just totally removed it. And do you know, after that, for months and months and months, I didn't have any wine. Months and months, and I didn't miss it. That's the incredible thing. It's one thing to make a decision. It's another thing to go, wow, there is nothing in me. Remember Jesus said that?
Yep.
To Satan in the wilderness, those
Yep.
40 days, you have nothing in me. I'm like, wow, this is legit.
So good. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I was bread and butter girl. I mean, oh my goodness. And I haven't had bread. I may have had a bread-like substance, pasta or rice or something like that. But like take a fresh piece of bread and slather it with butter like I used to. I don't know. It's been over a year, way over a year.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
yeah, I really don't miss it. If someone put it in front of me, and I would still ask myself, is it really worth it? In fact, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. Last night, I literally had a dream that I was in a buffet and everything looked so good. And I just kept checking in with my body, like, is that going to be worth it? Is that going to be worth it? And I really went after I just had, there was a nice steak and there might have been some other, another meat or something like I don't know, but
Mhm.
two meats rather than
Uh-huh.
the pizza and the pasta
Uh-huh.
and everything else. In my dream, I was even checking in with my body. I'm like, is that really going to be worth it? Is that what I truly desire? Is that what I desire an inch thick, or is that what I desire deep in me? You
Oh,
know?
that's a good thing. That's a good self-analyzing. Lord, here I'm going. This is what we're talking about. This is the work. This is the
Hmm.
work that you get to do.
Yeah.
You get to ask yourself these deep questions and ask the Spirit of God and ask Jesus what's going on about this.
Yeah.
Um, I would share, and I think I've shared this before, but ice cream after the wine thing, ice cream was my thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you know you cannot find clean ice cream out there? I found one brand. It's called Ice Cream for Bears, and it's not made with sugar, it's made with honey.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But I kept telling the Lord, I sometimes have a hunger for ice cream. I did the same thing with wine. It did go away, not as clear cut as the wine experience, but then I'm that much more mature, and God is saying, "Come on, you can do this." Like we are supposed to grow up in Christ,
Hmm.
and so as I was growing through that, I was like, you know, I think ice cream is still great, but there's no clean ice cream out there. They've got xanthan gum and guar gums and all kinds of gums in all that stuff. It's in your dairy products too. And I just don't want that in my body. So what am I going to do? And so finally, I was like, well, if I had my own ice cream maker, I could make my own ice cream and I could determine what I put in there, whether
Right.
it's honey or nothing at all, you know. So
So
I
good.
got that. I got an ice cream maker for Christmas.
Oh, awesome. I thought you had made ice cream before.
I did. I
Maybe.
had one of those big, giant, old school ones, but I wanted a little, the kind you put the ice in and it goes around and around,
Oh, okay.
makes your ice cream. I wanted one of the newer models now that sits on the countertop and you plug it in and it's quiet, well, relatively quiet, and it just makes, a smaller amount.
Got it.
But yeah, I had done that, and I think I used stevia in some of that, and
Yeah.
it was one of those. I wonder what this would be like if this even works.
Right. And I use stevia too. I use a flavored stevia in my coffee, and there's probably something not so good about it, but I'm looking at the alternative. I'm like, this
Right,
this I'm
right.
good with.
And this goes back to, if you we are meant to enjoy life.
Right.
And honey is a natural product.
Hmm.
So raw honey that you get from your farmers market, local honey,
Hmm.
I'm like, wow, if I need to go to that down the road, I could. But having organic stevia drops, I can get by with it. And it helps you. It helps you get. Don't be so hard on yourself, people. You can have a
Right.
little of stuff, but
Yeah.
we're talking about the thing that you're so invested into it, it's dominating your life and it invites evil to abuse you.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
if we say don't do sugar and your response is I can't do that, it's dominating you.
It's dominating you. Oh, and I feel led to say this part. I was reading somebody's testimony about their elimination diet, and they were telling me that they were severely depressed. This was a man. He was severely depressed. He was 44 years old, and he was depressed and he was anxious and he had insomnia. Three big things and he goes to a doctor and the doctor gives him a drug. Nothing works. And by the end of his experience with this doctor, he had given him 9 different drugs for those symptoms. Nine. 9 pharmaceutical, chemical based, petroleum based things that on a daily basis, he said he was putting quantities of that in his, that's insanity. That is the definition of insanity. Abuse, really, that
It's
doctor
abuse. It's
was
abuse.
abusive. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're abusing your body, the doctor's abusing you, and you're doing all this stuff. And then he just had a moment of clarity. Praise Jesus. He's like, this isn't right. Like the morality of it hit. But the depression was so overwhelming. But here's what was happening. The doctor never talked to him about his diet, never talked to him about sugar, never talked to him about getting out in the sunshine. He was 300 pounds, so he was overweight. He was, he didn't feel like going out and walking around the block. He just felt horrible. And so he stayed on blue screen. He, his testimony is that he became very secluded and isolated. Do you know he's describing a setup for the enemy to come and infiltrate his body. I'm literally saying this out loud. Whether he believed in Jesus or not, he was opening so many doors that a dark, evil entity could come and be the source of his depression. And
Yep.
but as a Christian, can you be demonized? Yes, actually, you can because you've got so many open doors and you've got to work with the Lord to help calm yourself in his presence. And a lot of people weren't taught as Christians to get in the presence of the Lord. But when you get in the glory presence of his light and his love, it makes all the difference.
Yep.
Anyway, this guy finally stops all his stuff. And the main thing he said it just plain as day, when I got off of sugar products and processed bread, my depression, my anxiety began to lift. It took me a year to get rid of it, but it began to lift the first week. Somebody out there needs to hear that. Depression is not for you. God doesn't want you to live in depression. And so we have to be savvy about the things in our world that contribute to that. We want you whole, healthy, happy, joy filled, and joyful. We need you.
Yeah, we need you. Well, Donna, I think we took that to the nth degree. It's such a big topic. There's probably more, but we did say some things that hopefully will shake people up and wake them up and help them become a better steward of their temple and not fall for the enemy's schemes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We appreciate that. And wherever you're listening, subscribe, like, share. This is meant to go out, and we have been thinking about this and talking behind the scenes about this kind of stuff for a long time. So I think that this is a timely message, and so that sharing it really will make a difference. And you could literally change someone's life and the trajectory of their health and their life if you share this message and they take it to heart. So if that's you, awesome. If it's someone you love, awesome.
Yeah. We bless you. We bless you with success. And we bless you with this little known key that you're a three-part being. So when you're changing something in your life, change all three parts of you or address it with all three parts of you spiritually, soulishly, and then, of course, naturally, physically.
So good. Thank you, Donna. All right, you guys, until next time, take it to the nth degree. Bye bye.
All right, everyone.